Okay, so breath. We all take breath. Can't live without them, right?
Pretty essential.
But today we're going deep on breath, not just the inhale, exhale kind of breath.
Right.
We're talking about breath as whoa, connected to our purpose, our deepest desires, even spiritual awakening. Wild stuff.
It's easy to forget how much we take for granted, isn't it?
Seriously. So full disclosure, we're diving into a channeled message today.
Okay, sure.
Now I know for some of you that might sound a little out there, but stick with us because at its core, this message, it's got some seriously intriguing takes on something we all experience, breath.
Definitely.
And it really pushes us to think beyond just the physical act of breathing.
It's more than just oxygen in our lungs, right?
Yeah.
It's like this message is saying breath is a reflection of something deeper, like a barometer almost, for how aligned we are with our true selves.
Exactly. Instead of just, knowing how to breathe, this source wants us to totally reevaluate our understanding of breath and how it connects to the core of who we are, which brings up a big question. What is that core?
Right.
And this message points to purpose.
Purpose. There we go. And not purpose in the typical sense.
Yeah.
Not just your job or your goals for this week.
Right.
It's talking about something way more profound, something woven into the very fabric of who we are.
This idea that purpose is something we uncover, not invent, that really resonated with me.
Yeah, it's not about following a predetermined path. It's about self-discovery.
Yeah.
And the source uses this analogy of mining. We're mining for our essence.
Okay, I like that.
And our purpose. That's the machinery we use to extract and refine that essence.
Huh.
It's about chipping away at the rough edges, revealing the gem inside.
That speaks to so many of us, right? That deep desire to become the best versions of ourselves.
Absolutely.
But how does breath fit into all of this?
So the more aligned our actions are with that refined purpose, the stronger our breath becomes.
Whoa.
It's like our breath is directly connected to how genuinely we're living out our purpose.
So if we're feeling lost, off track, uninspired, it could be a sign to check in with that internal compass.
Exactly. Ask yourself, have we strayed from our true north?
Love that.
Okay.
So if breath reflects how aligned we are, what keeps that purpose safe? What protects it from all the distractions and doubts of the world and, just life in general?
Yeah, what protects that inner compass of ours? And get this, the source suggests breath itself.
Whoa.
Breath is like the immune system for our purpose.
Okay, hold on. I need a minute to wrap my head around this one.
It's a lot.
It is. So breath is
It's powerful.
It is powerful. I love this analogy the source uses, though. They compare it to a water mill needing a power source.
Oh, I like that.
Right. So the mill can't do anything, can't function unless it's plugged in. And in the same way, our breath needs that activation by connecting to our purpose.
I love that.
And once that connection is made, the effects, it's like they ripple outward, influencing everything we do.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And, to really drive this point home, the source uses a fascinating example.
Oh.
Jesus might seem a little out there, but stay with me. The source suggests that even as his physical body was suffering, his breath, in this deeper sense, was at its strongest. Think about it. We usually think of strength as this physical thing.
Yeah,
right?
totally. Muscles, endurance, all that.
Right. But the source is talking about a different kind of resilience, something deeper, more spiritual.
Okay, yeah, like inner strength.
Exactly. Even in the face of suffering, his commitment never wavered. It highlights this powerful connection between breath and a strength that goes way beyond the physical.
So how do we tap into that? How do we cultivate that deeper sense of breath for ourselves?
Right. It's got to be more than just breathing exercises. The source is very clear about this. It's not about passively receiving breath. We have to become breath.
Become breath. Wow.
It's a total shift in perspective. Instead of seeing the divine as something outside of ourselves, it's about recognizing that power within, experiencing it.
That's a big leap. So where do we even start?
Well, the source brings it down to earth a bit here.
Yeah.
It's about looking at our everyday actions.
Oh, okay.
And it asks us directly, where do you feel that disconnect between what you're doing and your deepest purpose?
Oh, interesting.
Because it's in those moments, those misaligned moments, that our breath, that vital force, gets weak, stifled even.
It's like when we feel drained or just uninspired. Maybe that's a sign our breath, in this deeper sense, is struggling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this leads us to another layer the source presents.
Yeah.
The connection between breath, desire, and protflow, It uses this word, soplo.
Soplo.
It's a Spanish word. It means breath or puff.
Ugh.
The divine sopla.
Okay, I gotta admit, this is where I got a little lost. Like, breath is the child of desire, but also its protector. It felt very mythology, you know?
Think of it like this. Desire, at its broadest level, it's all our hopes, our dreams, longings, that driving force.
Right.
And at the heart of all that desire, that's where we find our refined purpose, that core essence we were talking about.
Okay, I'm with you.
And breath. Breath acts like a shield, protecting that purpose from getting diluted or snuffed out by, all the noise of the world.
A shield.
A shield.
So it's like this nested structure. Desire's on the outside, purpose is the core, and breath is like the guardian in between.
Exactly.
I love how visual this source is.
It's powerful. And this soplo, this divine breath, the source says it's constant, always there, sustaining us. If we're open to it, of course.
Oh, hold on, I'm picturing it. A constant breath from the divine. Think about those times you get a sudden flash of inspiration, like a nudge in the right direction. You ever feel that?
All the time. That's the soplo,
Yeah.
this gentle current of divine breath. It's always there, but we have to be aware enough to feel it.
It makes you wonder how much we miss out on just going about our busy lives. If we could tap into that soplo more, imagine the possibilities.
It's about tuning ourselves to a different frequency, one that's often drowned out by, everything else.
So we're talking about two kinds of breath here, right?
It's like little layers.
Layers, yeah. There's our own breath, the one we can strengthen by aligning with our purpose.
Yeah.
But then there's this soplo, this like universal breath that's always flowing.
And they influence each other. The more we cultivate our individual breath, the
Right.
more sensitive we become to that universal breath, to that subtler inspiration.
Like fine-tuning a radio, right?
Exactly. The clearer our signal, the easier it is to pick up on that divine wavelength.
Okay, so how does that actually work? Like, what does it look like when our own breath is vibing with this universal breath? How does that show up in our lives?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And I love that the source doesn't give us a step-by-step guide.
Yeah, it's not like, do these 3 things and bam, you're breathing universal breath.
Right. It's more like we're being invited to explore it for ourselves, to pay attention to those moments of resonance and see where they lead.
Okay, I can get behind that. It's like we're given a compass, not a map.
Exactly. It points us in a direction, towards
Yeah.
a certain way of moving through life, but it doesn't dictate every step.
So as you go about your day, breathe in, breathe out. Remember this idea. It's not just air, it's a force connecting you to something much bigger than yourself.
Let that awareness fuel your purpose, guide your actions, shape who you are. Because within each breath, there's that potential for awakening, for living in sync with the very breath of the divine.
Wow. A powerful thought to end on. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep.